start your morning, sponsored by Midas, open since 1956. To say Tom Brady has been vocal on the sidelines this season is an understatement. He's been caught on camera multiple times calling out his teammates. We saw him throw his tablet, calling, for downs that don't exist. So what does his head coach think about all of it? Take a listen to this.
When you see Brady get fired up, yelling at some of his offensive linemen for the penalties that were committed on Thursday night, do you like that? Do you understand that? Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? How do you gauge that type of interaction between your quarterback and his offensive line?
Just be yourself. I don't have any problem with it. At least I don't have to go back there and cuss them out. They've already got the airflow by the time I get over there. So Tom's got to be Tom. I'm not going to ask him to be somebody different. He does a good job of patting him on the back, too. He might explode, but he's going to go down there and pat him on the back and get him going.
All right, Brandon, what did you make of what Bruce Arians had to say?
Look, I'm going to try not to let Nick get my blood pressure up during this last segment, okay? Because I know he's going to come out and try to crush Tom Brady, and I'm going to have to defend Tom Brady as the GOAT. So I'm just going to give the facts. What do we know about Tom Brady the last 20 years? He understands discipline. He loves structure. He thrives in it. And now when you look at what he's dealing with in Tampa, he's dealing with a team that is not disciplined. They weren't last year. They led the team in penalties last year. And, they're on track to lead the team again in penalties. I think it's like 42 penalties so far throughout this year. And then also like 400 and something yards given up off of those penalties, which they lead in that category as well. So, of course, he's going to be frustrated. Of course, he's going to hold his team accountable. He's supposed to. That is his job. And him doing that on this team shows why they were able to win 6 Super Bowls in New England, because he did the same thing. So we can't be fickle here, guys. We can't say, this is what makes Tom Brady great and highlight him on Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, and say, look, this is what a leader is when they're winning the game. But when they're losing, now we want to bash him. So Tom Brady needs to be who Tom Brady is. We saw this in Denver when Peyton Manning went there. I remember calling my guys in Denver. I'm like, Elvis, tell me about Peyton Manning. Is he really that smart? He said, bro, it's next level. He'll come out to practice. He'll take the script off of Cool's hands and say, look, we're not running that. This is what we're going to do. It worked for them then. Okay, they won a Super Bowl. Tom Brady has shown these guys how to win and how to win consistently, and you have to eliminate those mistakes and those distractions within the whistle.
So a couple things, Brandon. When Peyton Manning was in Denver, he was still awesome. He won unanimous league MVP in his second year. And I'm yet to see that from Brady. Second of all, when Peyton Manning was in Denver, I think he was taking the play sheet out of Adam Gase's hands, who he might have been drooling on it, so that's probably a good thing for all involved. But maybe more importantly is this.
That's too much.
It's too much. It's a bridge too far. Oh, we got to be nice to Adam Gase today. Let's get Levy on the phone.
No, before you go, because I want you to paint the right picture. Before you go, paint the right picture. Peyton Manning couldn't throw a spiral. Peyton Manning couldn't throw it 30 yards down the field, okay? The first year, Peyton Manning threw 30 touchdowns and 11 picks.
Right, 30 touchdowns, 11 picks, and then the next year was the 55-touchdown year. It's right. It didn't fall off for Peyton until year 4. But the problem for Brady is this. Can we show it? I just want to, you guys haven't seen this yet. These are 2 quarterbacks. And, one's a yeller, one not so much. I think we have the graphic. And you might say, okay, that's somewhat equivalent. I don't know who's better there. You could argue one or the other. Both seem to have an issue with turnovers. Both can chunk it down the field a bit. Through 5 games, who are those quarterbacks, please?
Gardner Minshew.
So that's Jameis last year and Brady this year. Now, that's not totally fair to Tom because it leaves off the 2 categories he leads the NFL in pick sixes and forgetting the downs. But I just think it is tough when you are part of the problem for your team, Brandon, to then be dog cussing guys on the sideline. I think when he's doing it to Edelman and Gronk, they've won Super Bowls together, and Brady wasn't making the level of mistakes he's currently making in Tampa. Like, that doesn't seem to resonate with you, but I don't know why it wouldn't. Like,
It does.
If Brandon Marshall's
but we can deal with a bad play. Yeah, Tom Brady had some bad plays, but we can't deal with, the pre-snap penalties. We can't continue to line up in 3rd and 13, 3rd and 15, 3rd and 20. We have no chance. Those are pre-snap penalties. What happens in New England when you jump off sides? What happens in New England when you do these things? You take off and run a lap. Why? Because there's no chance of winning any game when you're leading the lead in penalties. So, yes, we can deal with, a fumble here and there. We can deal with a guy throwing a pick. We can deal with those things because you also know that he can come out and throw 5 touchdowns. We also know that special teams can make a play, but we cannot hurt ourselves by not controlling the things we can control.
So, Brandon, I want to show you a graphic, and then I want to get your response to something. Hold on one second, Nick. Can we show the penalty graphics of how many yards the Bucs have given up versus how many yards the Patriots have given up?
That's crazy.
Granted, like, we missed a game.
That's insane.
We've only given up 17 yards. Yeah. So, Brandon, this goes back a little bit to last year when Brady was complaining about the weapons, and it was just kind of like, we don't have the weapons. Did you feel empowered as a wide receiver to go up and criticize a quarterback? Like, we didn't see the Bucs, as Jameis was throwing the ball mostly to the other team last year, really criticize Jameis. So do you feel like if you were on that team, you would feel like you could talk to Tom Brady, or you could criticize Tom Brady, or you could get mad at Tom Brady, or do you have to just be silent because the guy's got 6 rings?
One thing I know is that Tom Brady can take it. We heard the stories, right? For 20 years, he sat in the front row, and Bill Belichick would put up his bonehead plays and call him out. Why are you holding up 4 fingers? It's not 4th down. Bill Belichick would have had that on display in front of that entire organization come Monday morning. So I know Tom Brady is built for it, but here's what I would say, Wilds. If I'm in that locker room and the GOAT walks in there, I'm doing what he can tell me to do whatever. I'll run through a brick wall because I want to win a championship, and I know this guy knows how to win a championship. And he is showing us how to do it every single day.
Downs?
You can't take a play off.
Well,
5 is so good. Tom Brady's retired. If he put up 5, he needs to retire. If he puts up 5 fingers, it's over.
Again, if he does it again. I do think, Wilds, the point you made is an important one, and I just want to put a button on it. It is clear last year Tom Brady didn't have a full complement of weapons, and he was really frustrated by it. But what he did have, and what he had his entire run in New England, was the most disciplined, detail-oriented team in the league. And what I think he's learning in Tampa is you might have all these fun toys to play with, all these great weapons, but to Brandon's point, if your center's headbutting a guy and getting a 15-yard penalty, it doesn't much matter. So I do think some of the criticism Belichick got last year for not giving Brady enough weapons around him should maybe be pulled back a bit retroactively, because while he didn't have weapons, he had a smart, disciplined team, as they do every year, that could make do without the weapons because they weren't in 3rd and 15s. They weren't in these impossible situations, Jenna, because they had shot themselves in the foot.
All right, from the GOAT in one sport to the GOAT debate in another. Yesterday, we had a lively discussion about Jordan versus LeBron. Nick, your social media was blowing up with both sides chiming in. This tweet, right, about what the media doesn't want you to know, this clip got over 1 million views. So, Nick, I have to ask, do you think you changed anyone's opinion yesterday?
Here's what I think, Kevin Wilds. I think that I drove Michael Jordan's unfavorables up. Michael Jordan's is like mini first lady in this country. Like, you do a poll on it, and it's like nobody disapproves. It's like 84% approve, 2% disapprove, and 14% have no opinion. I feel like this morning, you asked someone about Michael Jordan, most people are like, yeah, he was really, really good at basketball. But I feel like a few people, Wilds, are like, did you know he never beat Larry Bird in a playoff game, ever? Like, not one time. I feel like that is now out there. And
You're
so,
terrible.
I do think, and like I said, I didn't want to have to do it, Kevin, but I think Michael Jordan's unfavorables in this election season have gone up a bit.
You know what, Brandon? I thought it was dirty pool. When he threw up, like, people that won championships during Michael Jordan's tenure, and he's putting up Wizards Jordan, who's walking around with a Great Gatsby mustache as being part owner of the team. That is not fair. That is not the
those years
Michael
don't
Jordan
count.
we're talking about. If the years that he
Those
actually
years don't
played,
count.
not
I
the
must
years
say-
where he came in on a farewell tour. You're not be like, wow, the Rolling Stones aren't that good because they're 70 years old. Those don't count. Can't say Tim Duncan won a championship on Jordan's watch.
Well, I
With
must say,
Kwame
good
Brown.
job. After you did this, I was like, Nick, why would you go this way? Why would you bash the GOAT when you talk so well about LeBron? And then you went viral. So good job, buddy. Good job.
He knew what he was doing.
I didn't
He
know
knew what
Wizards
he was
Jordan doesn't
doing.
count.
We're
I didn't
done
know
for
Wizards
today.
Jordan
Back here
didn't count.
tomorrow. Have a great day.